Okay, while waiting, I'll just have a quick intro with what is web development. So web development is more likely this. Okay. So before we go further, sorry, if you have questions or confusions in any point of the discussion or session, please do tell me if you do have one, because that will help you out as well and help me as well na I might be on a fast track on our session. But let me just admit this one real quick. There's some na nagjo-join there. So yeah. So what I wanted to point on this one is hindi masama magtanong. Okay. If you ask questions, definitely that's good. Meaning you really wanted to know something about our current lesson. Okay. And don't be afraid to ping me on DMs as well. Okay. On the page. Basically, pwede nyo ko kontakin sa page. I do manage the page. So yeah, let's get started with this one. So let's just have a quick journey into web development. A little bit design there. So yeah. So but first, what is web development? So what happens when you type something in a URL and hit enter? Let me just show you something real quick. So I'll have here a plain. Let me just close this one. Sorry. Hide floating controls there. So this is a web browser. Basically, I'm using here a Google Chrome. So once I type in something on this URL bar, something will magically happen. Let's just say youtube.com. So once I click this one, we can actually see here things that is under the website of youtube.com, meaning we requested YouTube for them to show here yung content na meron sila in their website, which is the videos that we fond of watching. So let's get back to the slide. Slide here. So we answered that question. When we hit enter, may makikita tayo on our screen, and that will be a specific website that we requested. So how things work kapag nag-request tayo or when we type in and hit enter sa browser, ano nangyayari na nakukuha natin yung such specific website or contents that we saw on specific websites that we visit. So let's just have a quick scenario here. Let's say we have here Amari. Kunyari, gumawa si Amari ng isang fantastic web page that he really wants to share to the world. And you can see here an example, which is Hello World. Okay? Then how things work kapag ginawa niya yon? So ginawa niya dito, he puts the code for his web page on a computer that always running, meaning hindi siya pinapatay. So this computer serves his page whenever a client requests it. So yung client could be us who's accessing Amari's web page na pinakita kanina. Then, lahat ng computers, as we know, meron silang mga IP addresses. We do have a specific IP address na specific lamang doon sa unit na ginagamit natin. Meaning, unique siya at hindi magiging same with others. So we can think of it more likely as a mailing address. So someone is asking for the content from our specific address or IP address. And then what will happen is yung server natin o yung running na server ni Amali dito will send out that data or the content that he have on his computer para makita mo rin sa site mo. So meaning, there are times na makikita natin hindi IP addresses yung as we know the numbers, the 193.45.12.4, hindi ganun yung mga things na nakikita natin on our end. Instead, we're seeing here a domain name. For example, let's just make use of an example of the helloworld.com, which Amari created on our previous example. This one will serve just as a placeholder. So, ito yung humahawak ng specific IP address natin para lang maging mas appealing siya for those users na gumagamit ng ating, sorry, someone's joining, gumagamit ng ating website. So when you type in a domain name, meaning hinahawakan niya yung IP address na meron tayo earlier, then ibabato pa rin niya yung specific na content that we requested for our end, onto the client's end. So like what we have here as an illustration, when we requested a specific web page, the server throws in the web page that we requested on our end. But of course, these things are kind of broad as of now, I know. But basically, that's how things work in the simplest thing that we can have. So let's proceed with what we're going to have on our uh, bootcamp and this one. So let me just close this one real quick. Yeah. So what we're going to have with this bootcamp is first create the basic structure of a website that we wanted others to see. Like what I mentioned earlier, since we're going to have a project which is a web portfolio, gusto natin na makita ni client yun. But we want client to see how appealing it was or it is, and also ano yung mga bagay na nagawa natin and how can we show those clients na talagang we can actually work on their projects using web development. So before going with that, let's just go back paano nag-start yung web development o ano yung ba yung first website that we have. So ito yung first website that we have or first website that is launched. So as you can see, it's basically plain. Wala tayong makita na kahit ano within it. It's just pure text, few indentions, some links, and that's it. Wala nang ibang bagay maliban dito sa mga nakikita natin. So let me just admit this one real quick. There. Okay. So it started like this. Pero as of now, we can see a lot of website with 3D animations, website with really good front end or designs that they have on their website. So we want to achieve something like that. Of course, we want to make sure how things started and how can we progress on such output. So right now, we're going to start on our first session here on what we call the HTML. So let me just open up my slides here. Just give me 1 second. Yep, there. So with this one, we're going to start to recreate the first website that we have earlier. So earlier we have this first website, right? So what we're going to have for the first few sessions that we have, try natin i-recreate these things that we have here as a first website. Of course, we need to always go back from where it started. So it started with this very plain website, but after we progress with our bootcamps, we'll be having designs, uh, the response from the activity that we do within the website, and of course, publish that on the web using a free publishing tool. So right now, let me just open this slide. So let's start with the introduction with HTML. So yeah, so I already mentioned my name. I know I'm still thin on that picture. I'm kind of fat right now. So yeah, masarap kumain. So a quick background of me for those na late na nakatating. I'm a software developer specialized in backend development, meaning I do the business logic. So lahat ng logic kung paano gumagana kapag nag-click ka ng button, but masave siya sa database, yeah, I do those things. But right now, I'm working also as a full stack developer. So I do both. I do the front end, I do the back end, and I deploy those things on the web para ma-access ng people around the world. Okay, so ano yung magiging cover noong bootcamp under the lesson of HTML. So we'll be having 6 on this part, 12, and 13. So we're going to have 13 items to be tackled within the whole session, or sorry, the whole bootcamp under the HTML uh, topic. So first things first, of course, we need to know ano ba HTML. Then we'll know the syntax and structure, the elements and attributes and whatnot, and going further with the discussions like what we have here on the table of contents. Of course, this slides will be uh, shared to you later after the class. Okay, so let's get started with the first slide. So ano ba yung HTML? So HTML, as you can see on the latter part of this slide, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is the basic building block of the World Wide Web. So, in a sense, ito yung skeleton. Ito yung buto. If we compare it to anatomy, ito yung pinakabuto. This is the bare, parang siya yung foundation of everything that we're going to work on our website. So, ito yung mga text, mga semantic items that we have on our projects or website that we visit. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga magagawa natin with HTML? So, with HTML, we can publish documents online with text, images, lists, tables, and many more. Also, we can access web resources such as images, videos, and other HTML documents, and even websites. Also, we can create forms to collect user inputs like name, email address, comments, and whatnot. So if you wanted to create such thing like an e-commerce, you can do that using HTML, but that will be very limited. If you wanted to create a web application that you wanted to use personally on your business, you can make use of HTML as well, but you need other things to make it appealing and to work it better. So let's proceed with the next slide. So other things that you can make use of it include images, videos, sound clips, and other HTML documents inside your HTML document. Also, with HTML, you can create offline version of your website even without internet. Of course, if without internet, others cannot access that one. But if you want it to use personally, you can do so. Okay.